Mr. Prime Minister and Mr. Speaker, it's an honor to be with you all today. What we're doing today is extremely important because this is part of strengthening the office of the Prime Minister and also the Parliament in general. And both of those steps are central to trying to move ahead the reform agenda. So we're very excited about what is happening today. And I was just here about a month ago where we helped open the Media Center, the new Media Center of Parliament. And of course, we helped to collaborate on the new standing orders. We've helped to strengthen the committee structure of Parliament. So we've been involved with Parliament now for some time in trying to strengthen their role as an independent body and as a key arm of the government. Today, there are really two things that we're doing. One, we are handing over broadcasting equipment for the Parliament so that it will have the ability to do its own broadcasts of events that take place in the House, but also in the committees, thus making Parliament more transparent to the Kenyan people. This is modeled on something we call C-SPAN in the United States, which it's a whole dedicated channel where Americans can tune in and watch what's going on in Parliament. And sometimes they see one member of Parliament sitting there by himself, or sometimes they see 100. So it depends, but they can watch and they can hold their members of Parliament accountable for what they are doing. So this is part of increasing accountability in the Parliament as well. Secondly, and even more importantly, we're here today to hand over some equipment that is going to the Prime Minister's office in Parliament. And not only equipment, but also helping him and his office to be more effective in dealing with Parliament. This includes, of course, computer equipment, technical assistance, but we're also helping, for example, to help the Prime Minister establish a tracking system to be able to follow all the different issues and pieces of legislation. Obviously, there are a lot of those. We're trying to provide some expertise to his office to empower and increase his staff. And we're doing this because we're doing both of these things because I think it should be obvious, but let me just say it. The independence of Parliament is central in helping to push forward the reform agenda and to strengthen Kenyan democracy. And that is equally, if not more true, for the Prime Minister's office. We have said many times that the coalition government is not going to be successful unless the Prime Minister is successful. We say that not because we're pro one side or the other, but because unless the Prime Minister and the President are both successful, the government will fail. And nobody wants to see that. So we want the Prime Minister to be able to be effective, working together with the President, the two coalition partners, in pushing this reform agenda, and this is the way to do that. So I want to assure the Prime Minister and the Speaker that this is part of our continuing collaboration. This is not the end of it. Let's think of this as the beginning of that collaboration. We've had assistance from USAID's Office of Transition Initiatives in providing the funding for this. I want to thank John Langlois for his efforts, and also the SUNY program headed by Fred, who works very closely with all of the various members of Parliament.
The Kenya National Assembly enjoys and nurtures a good relationship with the United States of America and its people, ably represented here this afternoon by His Excellency the Ambassador. We have had useful engagement and appreciate the assistance that we have received and continue to receive from the United States Development Agency for International Development through its implementing organ, the State University of New York, SUNY, Kenya. This afternoon, we are here for two reasons. First, to receive office equipment for the Prime Minister's office here in Parliament, and two, to view the flight equipment to be used by the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit, comprising of 4 TV cameras and radio and TV flight cases, so that we are close to honoring our undertaking to Kenyans that we will ensure that Parliament has a full-fledged broadcasting unit and radio unit. The role of Parliament in this country is central in reforms. I have said this before, and I emphasize now that Parliament is committed and ready to go forth on the path of reform. Today is a demonstration of the importance we attach to the Prime Minister's role in Kenya and in Parliament. We are committed to improve the Prime Minister's capacity through the help of USAID and ensure that, among other things, the Prime Minister is able to function efficiently and fully, both in Parliament and elsewhere, and more so in Parliament when responding to members' concerns, answering questions during Prime Minister's time. I would like to thank the people of America through USAID for the support that they have given to us, ensuring that we make democratic gains and progress through this very valuable assistance. We shall do all that it takes to ensure that we deliver so that we do not disappoint our benefactors. This is a representative house and will, and in fact, ought not to shy away from transparency and openness in transaction of the people's business.
Let me join the Speaker in thanking the U.S. government and through USAID and the implementing agency, SANI Kenya, for this gesture of providing assistance both to Parliament and the office of the Prime Minister. This is the kind of assistance that you don't take for granted. And that's why, as the Speaker has rightly said, a friend in need is truly a friend in deed. This Parliament has been able to review very comprehensively its standing orders and to bring it in line with standing orders of other parliaments within the Commonwealth. And other steps have also been taken, including the live broadcasting of sessions of Parliament, including now also the committees of the House. This is in pursuit of transparency, that there's nothing to hide. Committees of Parliament have in the past met in camera, and that has actually robbed members of the public from the information that they richly and rightly deserve. I remember sitting in this committee house room here, discussing some issues of crucial national importance. But then that evidence was not available to the public. So it is very easy for somebody to walk out here and deny the obvious. But now, thanks to the reforms which have been carried out, the committee sessions are also going to be open to members of the public. This is a major step forward. Democracy can only work in the arms of government work in tandem. That is the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. And so the reforms in the legislature can only be meaningful if they are also accompanied by similar reforms in the executive and also within the judiciary. And that's the reason why I'm happy that my office is a beneficiary of this gesture here. Kenya can only be useful to the neighborhood and to the international community if we establish a strong democratic government. But see that the Kenyan people are committed to this. We are happy for the support that we have continued to receive from our international partners. But ultimately, it is the Kenyan people Even when you talk about peace, it is the Kenyan people who can uphold and protect peace. What Kenyans have shown the world is that it is possible to compromise and move things forward. So the peace we are enjoying today should not be taken for granted. We could have easily gone the Somalia way if we were not prepared to compromise. So we need to protect this peace and move forward and carry out the reforms which will ensure that we do not have witnessed a repeat of what we went through last year. I thank you, Mr. Ambassador and Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. Thank you very much.
Now, laptops, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
For the Prime Minister.
Yes.
And you better come nearby and receive them in private. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, you have the photocopy machine here?
Yes. Now that you would just
I can jump, but I can't get back. Let's do that. Let's do that.
that should be fine.
For the opening. Very nice. Very nice. I think I'm Mr. Nick. Very, very good. Thank you.
Just a sample.
Very nice. I think I'm Mr. Nick. Very good. All right. Good. Wonderful. Thank you very much. All right. Good. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
This is for the Prime Minister.
We have to figure out which chair is bigger. All right. Good. Wonderful. Thank you very much. All right. Good.